Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Cámara Peruana de Comercio Exterior. We would like to welcome you to our daily lectures, in this case, our English lectures. Um, Today is a new schedule, that we're going to have. Okay, it's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Okay, so this is going to be the new moment during the day where we're going to get together and talk about English topics, sometimes talk about some grammar topics, sometimes talk about some vocabulary topics, sometimes just talk about everyday topics, but in English, so we can practice our use of the language, okay? Like today we're going to talk about a little bit about music, okay? We're going to talk about its effects, maybe just some information, basic information about music, and maybe some instruments that you can recognize so you can recognize them, okay? Nothing really difficult. And in our next class on Thursday, we are going to well, we are going to talk about um, some grammar topics, some vocabulary topics. So I'm going to give you some more information regarding vocabulary and things like that. Okay, more things referred to the language. As you know, our English classes are always going to be divided in these two ways. One is just topics, basic information, topics related to the main topic, which in this case is music. And our second classes are going to be still things related to the topic, but more things that have to do with the language itself. Okay. So again, I would like to thank you for your attendance. I would like to thank you for being here, for separating this time of the day to accompany us and accompany me and accompany comics and in these very interesting lectures that we have for you every day. Please, before we go into the English classes, remember to always be careful. If you need to go out, there's a quarantine and there are laws. You know that 6 o'clock is the latest that we can be outside. I don't know why many people are confused thinking that it's 8 p.m., but no, it's 6 p.m. After 6, you will get fined, you will have to pay money, or you might have more problems. So please just stay at home. Try to be back home at before 6, at least in Lima. Also, remember that it's only one person per family that should go out, always in places near your home. If you need to go to work, you need to get the work permit to be able to move around the city. Private cars shouldn't be moving around, shouldn't be commuting around the city. But if you have to, then you need to get a permit. But still, wear your mask, wear your face masks, always carry some kind of disinfectant for your hands, alcohol, sanitizers. And for example, when I get home, my wife sprays me with all this alcohol around me just in case. And she sprays my shoes, and I still take off my shoes and leave them at the front door and walk around with slippers or other shoes at home. I wash my hands. If possible, I change clothes and take a shower. There is no extreme measure regarding COVID. This second wave has been very hard and struck many of us directly, with friends, with family. So my love and my support to all of those who have been affected by COVID. And for those if you have, for your family members who are fighting right now, I hope they recover quickly and they can be back home with your loved ones. Okay. So again, take all necessary precautions. COVID is still around us, is still going to be with us for a while. So just take all the measures necessary to avoid getting sick. Okay. Very well. So let's begin. Like I said, the topic of today's class is going to be music. Okay, and for those of you who don't know me, my name is Carlos Martinez Flores. I'm an English instructor and speaking coach. I am a former team leader at Pacific University, and currently I am an EFL teacher at Mater Purísima School. Um, Remember that I will follow you through the Zoom app, so you can ask me any questions if you have them. But I also follow your conversations and interaction through the Comics app in Facebook. Okay, so if you have any questions, just let me know, and I will gladly help you and try to answer your questions or doubts or or anything, or any comment that you might have, okay? So remember that I will happily help you and answer your questions. The only thing that I would like is for you to have some patience, because I don't know, for some reason, the Facebook app normally is always has a certain delay. For some reason, every time somebody talks to me, I get the message late, or sometimes I don't even get it. So I apologize for that. If it happens, I am sorry. I will, but as soon as I get your message, I will try to answer it immediately, as to as to not leaving you, don't think that I'm ghosting you or anything. Okay, very well. So let's begin. The topic of today, well, here are the topics that we're going to talk about. What is music? A historical approach to elements of music, music in life, how listening to music can have psychological benefits, and how to use music for stress relief. And finally, some musical instruments. Okay, so what is music? Okay, we all know what music is. So there are many different types of music. There's classical music, there's rock music, reggae, there's salsa, there's instrumental, there's jazz, there's gospel. I mean, music is very varied, depending not only in the type of music, but also in the region where it's from. Here in Lima, we have music that's from the coast, from the jungle, from the mountains. There, Peruvian music is different than Chilean music, Ecuadorian music, Brazilian music. Um, and Latin American music is different than North American music, and American music is different than European music, and so on. We'll continue talking about types of music forever, since these topics are almost unlimited, and almost infinite, right? Almost, I'm not saying infinite, but almost infinite. Okay, music is very varied and beautiful in every case. Okay, so what is music? Music is a form of art that uses sound organized in time. Music is also a form of entertainment that puts sounds together in a way that people like, or find interesting, or dance to, right? Music includes people singing with their voices or playing musical instruments such as piano, guitars, drums, or violins. Okay, so like I said, there's music to dance to, music to listen to, music to just relax. Music comes from the Greek word music, which means art of the muses. In ancient Greece, the muses include the goddess of music, poetry, art, and dance. Someone who makes music is known as a musician. Okay, the people who make music are musicians. Music is a sound that has been organized by using rhythm, melody, or harmony. Okay, if someone bangs saucepans, for example, if many of you have seen, maybe those of you who are around my age, yeah, have seen the episodes from El Chavo. I mean, when they start to hit the pans and make, I mean, that's just noise. That's not music. Um, but if you have seen, there's this band, I remember the name, but they play music hitting cans and hitting things, hitting their bodies. It's about percussion, right? So in this case, they're also hitting saucepans, but in a rhythmic way, and they produce music, right? Okay, so it's not only to make noise, it's to make noise that has rhythm, has melody, and has harmony, right? So therefore there are four things which music has most of the time. So the music has a pitch, which means the high notes and the low notes. The high notes are normally the ones that are very, very acute, like the whistle, very acute, and the low noises like bass, like very low noises. I'm not a music teacher, but I kind of know what it is about. Tunes are made up of notes that go up or down, or stay in the same pitch. A tune is like, a group of notes that go, you know. Um, High tones, low tones make it's a group of high notes or low notes, right? And they stay on the same pitch. Now, music often has rhythm. Rhythm is the way the musical sounds and silences are put together in a sequence. So every tune has a rhythm that can be tapped. Music usually has a regular beat. Okay, when we mean tapped, it's like this, you can hit. Okay, there are different rhythms, like 1 2 1 2. We'll see that in a little bit. But it's the way that music flows. Now, rhythm is important when we talk about English, because English has a rhythm. Normally it's 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Okay, so every sentence has a rhythm, and that's why in some languages have even more rhythm. That's why they say. That's why some people say, "Oh, this language, it's like they're singing," because it has a lot of rhythm. Some languages have less rhythm, and they sound very straight, very formal, very strict, right? So rhythm is always it is also present in language speaking. Music often has dynamics, which means where it is quiet or loud or somewhere in between. Okay, there's music that is very loud. Like for example, if you like to hear heavy metal, it's definitely going to be loud. Okay, it's very difficult for it to be um, quiet. Whereas if you hear jazz normally, or bossa nova, all these types of music, normally the dynamic is going to be quiet. I mean, it's going to be, it's music that relaxes you, right? So this is another thing that the third quality of music. And finally, music often has it's written like in Spanish, but the pronunciation is in French. So part of my French is timbre. Okay, timbre is is a sound in the way that makes a sound interesting. Okay, a sort of sound might be harsh, might be gentle, might be dry, warm, or something else. The timbre is what makes a clarinet sound different than an oboe. An oboe, it's like, I don't know, I have a picture on there. It's also an instrument, a very long instrument, like a long flute. And what makes one person's voice sound different from another person, okay? It's like, um, for example, my voice is deeper than maybe my son's voice right now because he's a little kid. But maybe when he grows up, his tempo will be lower or maybe higher. I don't know. Okay, so it's the way the different sounds. Okay, it's what we would say it's like the quality of the sound. Okay, it's what makes it unique. Um, and it also needs, for example, the voice. If the tone of your voice is high, normally it's like for surprise. If it's low, not because it's sad. Okay, so these things can be these are things that can be mentioned when we want to mention or talk about qualities that music might have. Okay, now, when we talk about definitions, there is no one simple definition of music. It is an art form that we said before, okay? And many opinions come into play definitely because for example, some people love certain type of music, other people hate it. Other people love musical instruments. Some people find it boring. Many people pay lots of money to go to the opera. Some people think it's, wow, why it's so tiring. So it depends. Okay, I mean, opinion has plays a very big factor in what makes music interesting, good or bad. So we can't say that we can't qualify music in one specific adjective because it's very subjective. Okay, what is good for me might not be good for you. What is good for you, maybe it's not good for me, or maybe it is. So it depends. Music is whatever people think is music. And different approaches to music qualities music must have, such as rhythm, melody, pitch, timbre, and what we mentioned before. Okay, so these are strict qualities of what music is. Okay, definitely, it's a form of art. It definitely it has to do with rhythm, with sounds, with dynamics, but most importantly, it has to do with opinions. Okay, I am pretty sure that even your best friend, maybe there are some types of music that you like, but there's some types of music that you don't like. And in your family, I remember when I was young, I used to hate the music that my father used to listen when we were in the car. He used to listen a lot to these Nueva Ola music, Leodán and Daltons. And I used to think, oh, it's so boring. But now when I hear it, it brings back very, very good memories of when I was a kid. So now I think it's very beautiful music. Now my opinion has changed. The same with Creole music, Sambo Cabero and Eva Young. When I was younger, I was like, okay, it's fine. But nowadays, I mean, I personally think that it's one of the best musics to celebrate with. Okay, so music is definitely very subjective depending on who is listening to it, the purpose, the reason, and the place. Okay, very good. So let's continue. Now, very quickly, we're going to go to a historical approach of the elements of music. Okay, while there are many different approaches to describe how music what makes up music, we often break music into 5 different elements. Like we said, we call it the melody, the texture, the rhythm, the form, and the harmony. Okay, these are the 5 different, let's say, building blocks, like Legos of music, right? So like, or like when you play Jenga, right? I mean, if the blocks are in an awkward position, it's going to fall. It needs to be perfect for it to stay stable, right? Or if you make Legos, right? If you don't collocate the right pieces in the right place, it's going to fall apart. So it's important to have these 4 things or 5 things to make sure that music works, okay? Whether or not you like it, okay? Whether or not it's good or bad for you, it has, this is the technical part of music. This is not the subjective, this is more the objective part of music, okay? Well, it's true that not every piece of music contains all these elements. It is very likely that every piece of music you have listened to recently does, okay? Um, of these 5 elements, there are 2 that almost always come first, which are the melody and the rhythm. We're going to talk about in a minute. They are not only the 2 fundamental parts of music, but they are probably the very first concepts of music experienced by human beings. So I cannot say definitely that music has existed forever, but I'm pretty sure that since the appearance of man on Earth, music came along. Because well, human beings are social beings. Human beings are a creative and inventive beings, and so I'm pretty sure that as soon as we started walking on 2 feet, somebody must have heard the music of, I mean, the sounds of the jungle, the sounds of the earth back in those days, and must have tried to recreate this sound, right? So I'm pretty sure that it's been experienced by human beings forever almost. Okay, so it's a matter of pure speculation whether the first music involved a melody being sung or rhythm being tapped, like I was saying before. Maybe somebody tried to imitate the sounds of the bird, so they started to whistle maybe, or started to make sounds, or maybe they wanted to imitate the sounds of animals walking around or running around, and they started to tap, tap. But it's easy to imagine that these 2 experiences was some of the earliest human musical creations, definitely. I mean, musical instruments there are some instruments that are very old, but they're not as old as humankind, okay, as human beings, as mankind or human beings. Back when we first started to socialize and our brains started to get bigger and we were able to create artifacts to help us, I'm pretty sure that people started to create music in some way. I don't know. Maybe they, like I said, started humming, and they started to realize, wow, this sounds nice. And maybe they started to like whistle. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, or started to, like Thanos, you know. And so we don't know. We're just speculating, but I'm pretty sure that I mean, I think everyone has sat somewhere and in some moment in their lives, just when there's nothing to do, it's like you're sitting on the bus or you're sitting on the plane, on the train, or you're just walking and there's nothing to do. The first thing that you do is you start humming. When you're looking around for something, the first thing you do, you're like, everybody does it. Everybody does it. So I think, I mean, if we do it, I'm pretty sure that the first men and women must have done it also. Okay, very good. So let's talk about the elements that we mentioned before. Melody. Okay, what is melody? And it's not a restaurant or a hotel or something. No, melody is in music the group of notes with various pitches, right? How high or low a note sounds, which are played one after another. Together they make a tune in the same way that a group of words make a sentence. Okay, so the melody is a group of tunes, whether they're high or low or a combination, and that together they have a certain pattern and they make sound. They make a certain sound. Okay, that's the melody. Okay, so again, the melody is a group of notes, notes of sounds, okay? Because sounds are I apologize, my neighbor. For those of you who have followed my classes, I have a very annoying neighbor who, I don't know why, but every time I start my class, whether it's in the morning or the afternoon, he decides to bang the door or his wall. I don't know. I think his name is Bob the Builder or something, but whatever. So I apologize for the noise, and bear with me, please. So the melody is a group of notes, and whether they might go up or they might go down, right? And together they make they make a sound. Okay, if you want to find an equivalent, it's like the group of words make a sentence, right? So now the texture, the musical texture refers to how different layers of a piece of music are combined to produce the overall sound. Because when you talk about layers, for example, three layers, one, two, three. Okay, you have three things. Three. For example, when you make a chocolate cake, right? Chocolate cake has a layer of fudge or Nutella, and then chocolate, and another layer of fudge. Layers are, that's what we call layers. So musical texture is how many layers of music are combined. The four musical textures that you need to understand are these four, which is the most common: the monophonic, the homophonic, the polyphonic, and the heterophonic. And when we say monophonic, it's only one sound, one layer. Okay. When we say homophonic, it's when we have one, two, or three layers, but they are the same sounds, like they are occupying the same space. Okay. There's this group, I don't remember the name. They sing Christmas carols, and they all sing the same song and the same, but they are in the same. It's like they're singing in unison. Okay, like they stay in the same notes with different timbres, tones, different unique characteristics, but they all kind of sound the same, right? And polyphonic is when we have different sounds. I mean, all over the place, different sounds, different notes, up and down. That's a combination of different sounds. Of course, they all work together, but they're all different. And heterophonic is when they're different, but they're a little bit similar. Okay, they follow a similar pattern. Okay, so remember, monophonic, only one sound. Homophonic, different sounds, but in one level. Polyphonic is different sounds, different levels, all over the place. Heterophonic is different sounds, but with a kind of similar pattern. Okay, not exactly like homophonic, but it's similar. That's what I call it heterophonic. Okay, it's similar. It's not the same. So these are the different textures. Then we have rhythm. Rhythm refers to the length of time between each major beat, okay, and a stop. Okay, it's a sequence of sounds and silences which make a rhythm. Like I said, it's music, 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 silence, music, 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 silence. So that's two, silence, or music, 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 silence, music, 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 silence. So that's how music, that's the beat. Okay, it is a sequence of sounds and silences which make a rhythm. The first beat of a group of regular, evenly spaced beats usually feels stronger than the others. When we write music down, we put each group in bars or measures. Rhythm can have different patterns, which can be clapped or tapped. In Western music, these patterns are common. It's like 1, 2, 1, 2. It's like 1, 2, pause, 1, 2, pause, or 1, 2, 3, pause, 1, 2, 3, pause, or 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, 1, 2. That's the rhythm, right? It can be clapped. It's like, when people are dancing this song to Chayanne for the 15-year-old Tiempo de Vals, everybody's clapping, in the same rhythm, two stop, two stop, two stop. Okay, so that's a rhythm. Okay, or when we sing happy birthdays, happy birthday to you, so the rhythm is different, right? So it depends on the music, on the song. Okay, so rhythm can be clapped or tapped. So that's what we call rhythm. And let's continue. The form, repetition, contrast, and variation are the basic principles of the form in the music. Okay, form refers to the way in which sections of musical pieces are organized. How you organize this is, in music, form refers to the structure and organization of a musical composition. There are many different types of musical forms, and to analyze a form of a piece essentially means to place it into one of those prototypes. If a new piece of music is written, it will have to follow certain guidelines about its melody, harmony, and rhythm aspects in order to be considered part of this big form. When we talk about form, is what type of music we're creating. Okay, for example, if you have how you organize the music, maybe it starts that's very loud, that's very soft, relaxing music. Okay, how the music is composed. Okay, so whenever you write music, you need to decide, okay, what a certain type of music has a certain harmony, a certain rhythm, a certain melody. So you need to know, because if you don't decide, then you're going to be all over the place. Okay, so a form is, like I said, is the way the music is organized. And harmony is the composite product when individual music voices group together to form a cohesive whole. Harmony is, for example, you can see this a lot in when if you have ever watched this musical program you saw in Channel 2, when there are groups, you know, sometimes the three of them are singing at the same time, and if there's harmony, it's like one voice with different tones, you know, with different unique sounds, but it's like one voice. But when there is no harmony, you hear I mean, pay attention to the show if you ever watched it, or if you can. When there's a group of 2 or 3 people, if there is harmony, you cannot notice that there are 3 people singing. You hear one beautiful sound with different with unique tones. But when there is no harmony, you can literally hear the 3 people or 4 people singing in different moments, you know, and it's not so good. I mean, everybody needs to sing, or if it's an orchestra, to play at the same time, because if you don't, then it's going to be all over the place. Okay, think of an orchestra. A flute player may be playing one note, violinist plays a different note, and the trombonist plays a different note. Yet, when the individual parts are held together, harmony is created. Okay, it's like an orchestra, right? You have drums, violins, flutes, or you have all these different instruments, but they play in such harmony that it sounds cohesive. It sounds like one sound. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're, I mean, it's like the stock market recently, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then there's no harmony. Okay, so these are the basic parts of music. And now let's talk about music and life. Okay, so I'm going to mention some quotes. Without music, life would be a mistake. This was said by Friedrich Nietzsche. Okay, a century after the German philosopher made this famous assertion, different neuroscientists, musicologists, psychologists, and anthropologists have proved that he was right. Okay, definitely. I do not see anybody that that cannot include music in their lives. Okay, I mean, and specifically, especially in our moods. I mean, if we feel happy, then we're going to listen. I mean, it's going to sound redundant, but if you feel the song "Happy," yeah, or "Shiny Happy People," I mean, this music, these songs make you happy. If you're sad, you're going to listen to, I don't know, sad songs, you know, like Outside from Sting, or you're going to hear these blues, you know, man, when my girlfriend, my boyfriend finished with me, so I'm very sad. Okay, so it also reflects your mood. It also reflects your mood. Okay, then the role of music is socialization, which was explained by Jeremy Montague, okay, musician and professor of Oxford University. Definitely, uh, um, I remember back in the day when I was younger and we used to go to parties. The moment to meet people was dancing. I mean, you will go up to a girl and you will ask her to dance, and while you were dancing, hi, what's your name? Where do you live? What's your phone number? Back in the day when cell phones didn't exist. Okay, it was a moment to socialize, you know, or for meeting new people. Hey, you know, you want to dance? Okay, let's go dance. So dancing and music is definitely the pathway to socializing. Okay, um, I mean, there's no better way of meeting people and I mean breaking the ice than just dancing. Okay, here, look, listen to this. He argues that the humming of a mother makes to calm her baby is music, and that it's probably happened before we were able to speak. That's the connection between my little daughter, my son, when he was little. I used to sing to them the song La Mar Estaba Serena. I know that you changed the vowels. La Mer esteve serena, li mir esteve serena. And they used to immediately, whoop, they fell asleep, okay? So me and my children socialized. We connected with this song, okay? And this is a song that my mom sang to me when I was younger. And I still sing it to my children. Well, my younger baby, because my older son, he likes a lot of music now. Okay, for this expert, the bonded music established between mother and child is also present in a group of workers or in an ancestral men who danced and sang before a hunt or battle. Have you seen the hakas? Have you guys ever seen rugby? I'm not from New Zealand, but I would love to be, because these hakas are so strong and they sound aggressive, but they are messages of 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 of, of giving the hunters positive energy to go hunt and to come back, and they say you're the best and we wish you the best, but in such a strong way. It's definitely very. I mean, I'm not a New Zealander, but I mean, I feel the connection. Okay, so yeah, music connects. Now, music communicates emotions, like I mentioned before, right? If you listen, if you hear to me, if imagine you wonder how I'm feeling, and then you hear the song, this old song that says, "Amiga, creo que lo estoy perdiendo." Oh, you're like, "Uh-oh, he broke up with his girlfriend." I mean, immediately you know something. Nobody who's happy is going to hear that song. I mean, I think it's impossible for somebody who's happy to be listening to that song. You know, music communicates emotions, or when you feel, or when you are doing exercise and you hear, you said the eye of the tiger, you feel you want to you feel that you want to do exercise, and you feel excited, So music communicates emotions, most definitely, most definitely. Promotes happiness and creativity, definitely. I think that I think that I'm more productive when I'm listening to music. Of course, not music that distracts me, because if I'm going to be singing, if I'm going to be working and then singing like tusa, then I mean, not that I like that song, but if I'm going to be distracted by the song, then I'm not going to produce. I need to, but normally I like to listen to 80s or 90s music, and it relaxes me, and it makes me be more productive. Definitely, definitely. Okay, so music promotes happiness and creativity. I mean, it's whoever says no, then probably is lying to you. And it's therapeutic. Okay, of all the functions of music, perhaps the most mysterious corresponds to its possible therapeutic use. I mean, it's healthy. It's healthy. I mean, I don't know if you have you seen this movie with Adam Sandler. I know it's a movie, but it has some kind of, it has some science into it, where he and this blonde actress, that she forgets everything, but the only thing she remembers is a song that she and her shared. Okay, so this happens. I mean, sometimes people are, maybe they may have all these mental problems, or psychological issues, but there's music that keeps them connected to the world. Now, how listening to music can have psychological benefits? Again, it can improve cognitive performance, like I said. Some people learn by singing, learn by singing, by collocating rhythm to things, people do it. I mean, you see, background music, it helps a lot. Okay, so it does. It's scientifically proven that it has cognitive increasing performances. Okay, then music can reduce stress. My God, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think there's no better way to release stress driving in your car, all the volume up, and singing some AC/DC. Some screaming out from your lungs, and when you're done, you're like, I needed that, I needed to blow off some steam. Okay, music can help you eat less. I guess, I mean, I haven't tried it. I think it's noticeable. I've gained some weight during this pandemic, but yeah, they say that it can help you eat. One of the most surprising psychological benefits of music is that it may be helpful weight loss tool. If you're trying to lose some weight, listen to some mellow music, mellow, relaxing music. Limiting lights may help you achieve your goals. Okay, so I don't know, you might as well try it out. Music can improve memory. Yes, it does. It depends on a variety of factors, including the type of music, the listener's enjoyment of music, even how musically well. I mean, music can trigger memories. Sometimes I listen to a song and you're like, wow, I was just transported to when I was a teenager. And you can remember many details that maybe that you might have thought that you have forgotten. But you remember them because this music triggers, it triggers things in your mind. And if it can trigger memories that are way back when you were like 4 or 5, 6 years old, why could it not trigger memories from recent things that you studied? So most definitely it helps improve your memory. Can help manage pain. Research has shown that music can be very helpful in the management of pain. One study of fibromyalgia patients found that those who listen to music 1 hour a day experience reduction in pain. I've never suffered from fibromyalgia, but I suppose that those who have, maybe they can validate this information, and if not, then maybe you can try it out. I mean, all these are facts. I haven't invented any of these facts. They are all investigated. Okay, so try it out. Maybe it does. I mean, let me know. Music makes you sleep better. Yes, I mean, I am the one that needs sound when I go. I cannot sleep when everything is quiet. And if I hear some music, I mean, it definitely relaxes me and helps me go to sleep. Can improve your motivation? Yes. Fast-paced music? Yes. Like I said, Eye of the Tiger, it definitely, it literally most of it, normally when I'm in class, and oh, there we go, my Bob the Builder neighbor again. Okay. Normally when I am in class and I leave my students an activity for them to work, and I tell them, okay, it's a competition. The first one that finishes comes to the board and solves the problem. And they're like working really quickly. I collocate some Eye of the Tiger, and and they immediately, you see them working. I say, yeah, come on. And they rub their hands and they start working quicker because they feel motivated, right? They feel motivated to do these things. Okay. Music can improve mood. Yes. I mean, imagine that you are sad and I start to collocate some, I don't know, some boleros, you're definitely going to get sadder because boleros are sad. But if you're sad and I collocate some, Eva Young, or I collocate some Sambo Cabero, you're going to feel happy because this type of music make you feel happy, So it definitely improves your mood. And this goes with the reduction of depression, and definitely reduces symptoms of depression. And this is important because depression is it's silent killer. It's a silent killer. If you know somebody who's depressed, take them to a concert, make them listen to music, buy them a CD. You know, maybe you won't be able to cure his or her depression, but you'll be able to help them. You know. So yeah, music is important. How to reduce music for stress relief. Music can affect the body in many health promoting ways, which is the basis of a growing field known as music therapy. However, you can use music in your daily life and achieve many stress benefits on your own. Getting ready in the morning, okay? You can wake yourself up with music and start your day feeling great. Okay, imagine you wake up to happy people, shiny happy people. You're like, wow, you want to jump out and start dancing and doing your things. Okay, so or you wake up to some exercise music, or you wake up to Saturday night fever. Man, you wake up, I know, I know. I've just mentioned old songs because those are songs from my age. I don't know, maybe some songs that are motivating for you, and it'll definitely make you start your day better. Next, during a commute. Yes, if you commuting, commuting is to travel from your home to your work or your place of study and to come back, okay? Well, nowadays, because of the pandemic, you're not commuting too much, but traffic in Lima is terrible. So if you can listen to music while you commute, you'll definitely feel you release some stress. Listen to your favorite music, and it'll make time fly. Cooking. I love to cook, and yes, cooking while you're listening to music is great. It helps you a lot. It makes you feel more motivated. It makes things easier. You don't think it seems like you're not doing something like a job. You're just doing something that relaxes you. While eating, music can also be a helper if you're eating your meal. Soothing music can trigger the relaxation response, which can lower cortisol levels, which makes it easier to digest food. Notice, I didn't know that. Well, after I did this, I knew. Okay, if you listen to music, it'll help you digest your food. Okay, so listening to classical music is particularly can help you eat less. So I think I'm going to start listening to some classical music. Okay, cleaning, keeping a smile organized. Yes, definitely. I remember one day I was walking by a market near my house, and I saw the CD that said "Música para baldear." And it was funny because I had never seen such type of title. But I started to think, wow, imagine you're listening to this type of music while you're cleaning. Man, you're not going to even think about that you're cleaning. You're just cleaning, and you're going to do really happy. Maybe you're dancing while you're cleaning. So definitely it helps you. It helps you to release stress. And before going to bed, like I mentioned before, it helps you relax. It helps you feel better. It helps you sleep quicker, and it helps you do many things that maybe you might not be able to do without listening to music. Very good. Um, and this is the final topic, which we're going to finish today. It was a quick topic. Musical instruments, as you can see, we have the trombone, the one that goes like this. We have the saxophone, we play jazz, it's saxophone. You have the trumpet, okay, they have the tuba. The tuba is really big, you have the tuba, okay? It's like the horn is up there, so you're like tuba. The saxophone is what Lisa Simpson plays. Then we have the French horn. The French horn is very short, similar to a trumpet, but it has the tubes have more twirls around it, and it's basically used like when in the army to wake people up, like that's a French horn. Then we have the recorder. It's like a flute. The clarinet, which is a long flute, very, very, very acute sounds. Microphones, records, although nowadays nobody uses records, although my dad has one and the sound is beautiful. The keyboard, the bell, harmonica, where you play the sounds, your sounds. The accordion, you go like this. The harp, harps are used in classical music and also in folk music here in Peru. The banjo, okay, the banjo. This is like I've seen this used most in southwestern or western music in the United States. The double bass, okay. This is like a big guitar, they okay. The cello, which is also similar, also big, but it's used with with a violin, but the double bass you use your fingers, and the cello you can use the sticks as in the violin. We have the bass guitar. Okay, this is not pronounced bass, it's bass. You have the bass guitar. You have your normal acoustic guitar. You also, your bass guitars can also be electrical guitars, where that you play for solos and stuff. You have your pianos, your drums, a drum set. We have bass drums, the ones that in the floor, that you hit. The conga, okay. These are more like Afro-American instruments or African instruments. The xylophone, the snare drum, and the maracas. Okay, so these are some instruments that you can use to play music. These are some common instruments. And this, my friends, is the last of our slides. Okay, we will continue with this topic, but now we're not only going to talk about what music is, but we're also going to talk a little bit about grammar and some language learning. Okay, so are there any questions or anything that I could help you out with, or that I can answer any questions? Okay, like I said, I have not seen any questions in the Facebook app. As you can see, there's nothing there. I don't know why, but I never have any. When I check on it later, I see a bunch of questions, and I can't answer them in the moment. But okay, as you can see, but I've been trying to follow. The next topic will be on Thursday, and those here because the date has changed, Thursday, February the 4th. And I hope that everyone has we have learned a little bit about music. Next class, we're going to talk about some grammar functions and vocabulary functions, okay? This is on Thursday at 4 p.m. If there are no more questions, then I want to thank you for your attendance, for being here, and for accompanying me during this kind of hot middle of the afternoon. If you have any questions, remember this is my email. My email is cjmflores@gmail.com. My WhatsApp is 947-390-436. And my LinkedIn account is cjmflores27. Okay, so you can contact me for anything, any questions that you might have about this topic or any other English topic that you might have. And I want to appreciate you accompanying me. Please take all the necessary precautions, stay safe, stay at home. If you need to go out, only if it's necessary. And thank you for the people who have accompanied me in Zoom, and the people who have accompanied me in the Facebook app. Have a great afternoon, and God bless. Stay tuned for the next lecture from Cámara Peruana de Comercio Exterior. Stay safe. God bless. Bye-bye.